shit. So finally I will be reviewing my 2019 Verna, cause 2020 Verna is right around the corner. So this will be part 2 of living with, cause I've already done with the Galaxy S20 Plus, but this would be a bit more longer term. Cause I had this car for almost like, I guess 8 months, but I would be just reviewing like the things that I actually love about this car and what I do actually feel about it. Because if you're considering buying this older version of the Verna, because it does actually look quite good than the newer one. The newer one does actually look quite more elegant. Well, we already had those options with the CADs, like the chrome bits and everything, but from the inside it does actually look quite similar to the newer one. So this is again a 2019 Verna. So it did actually get this wireless charging pad last year, but pretty much everything is just same from the 2017. So I was actually considering getting a Venue, but I just didn't like the car. Like at 12 lakh, it was actually quite a good car, but I just fell in love with the refinement of this engine that this car actually has. But then again, I was quite disappointed with the mileage. Like, of course, this is a petrol manual SXO, so this car literally has everything that the Verna has to offer in 2019, but with the petrol manual option. So this is 1.6 liter naturally aspirated petrol engine, which is almost like 125 horsepower. Well, I do actually know that Venue also has a 1 liter turbo, which has almost like 123 horsepower, so quite same, but the refinement that this engine has, it doesn't. Again, I wasn't actually considering getting a SUV at all. I was just waiting for it. Then again, I went to the launch event. I also recently went to the Creta's launch event, but the build quality does actually feel a bit more crap than this car on both of those. So again, if you want a bit more luxurious option, this is completely the way to go. But this is the infotainment. These are the elements that you get throughout your normal day-to-day usage of driving the car. So again, as you can see on the clock, I have done 4,200 kilometers over the course of 8 months. Again, you have some headlight switches and the interior switches right over there, as you can see. So I can completely control the interior lights right over there. As you can see, it completely goes dim. This do actually catch your attention while driving. So again, over here, if you just go through the buttons and the infotainment, we have a 7-inch touchscreen, which I guess it's now completely replaced with a 9-inch one or the 8-inch. But this one does actually feel quite more integrated and good looking compared to the newer one, because the newer one has like an iPad stick over here, which I just don't actually like. Again, over here you have quite the normal buttons like your maps. And let me tell you one thing about this. The cluster ionizers is like magic in this thing. The car still feels and smells the same that I actually bought it like 8 months ago. Well, I didn't actually buy it. If you're wondering, this is bought with the YouTube money. No, you can't actually buy a 40.5 lakh car with YouTube money. Almost like with the views that I have and how dying my channel is. My grandpa actually bought it for me, but this is quite a beautiful machine. Like, most of you guys do actually feel this is outdated, like the bigger dials, there is no nice TFT or the MID. Like the MID does actually feel outdated even when compared to the Suzuki, but this is a very good looking car. Verna was quite one of my dream cars since like 2012, like the Verna Transform came around. But if you just go through the infotainment and stuff, as you can see, the functionality is quite good. Again, it's still same from the 2017, and even at 2017 it had Apple CarPlay, Mirror Link and Android Auto, all 3 things built in 2017. Like, this is really great that Hyundai was one of the first ones to just implement them. Even with the 2021 Elantra, it has wireless Android Auto, so you can actually use this wireless charging pad right over here with the wireless Android Auto. And let me just tell you one thing about this thing, that it's quite small. It does actually fit my Galaxy S9 Plus without the cover, but my Galaxy S10 Plus doesn't actually fit it in. But as you can see, you have the ventilated seat, which is one of the most important features of this car, because I have a condition with my back. I do actually sweat from my back a lot, and in this car there was not a single time that I sweated my back. With the ventilation on, this is one of the most luxurious cars that you can buy. Again, that's one of the reasons I actually cancelled on the Venue, because even at 12.5 lakh it didn't actually have that, although the international models did actually offer that. But just going through that infotainment, I hope my Galaxy S10 Plus is actually recording right now. But the standard maps that you have are quite good. Like, the best thing about this is it doesn't actually offer that kind of an in-depth view. It does actually have 3D buildings. Then again, most important feature of it, if you are someone like me who lives in a small town, and then again if you are going to a big city like Mumbai, I do actually get confused completely when you have to just take a roundabout, when you have to just leave the flyover. I just completely get confused, and Google Maps doesn't actually do a justice for it. So this does actually show a half of the screen of an image of what you have to do, like get this lane, get off the flyover. Like, this is much more useful. Again, the maps do actually get updated for 3 years from the company, or you can just download it for almost like 5 GBs and just insert it into the memory card right over here. But then again, in terms of connectivity, the Apple CarPlay does actually feel lot more smoother, like there are much more optimizations, but I just think that has to do with the lightning connector and how iOS works. But even with Android, it's not that bad. Like I'm actually running my Wi-Fi connection right over here, so it might be a bit slow, but as you can see, I have actually plugged into it. I have a USB right over here, which is the standard one for connectivity. Then again, we have an aux right over there. There is a fast charger right over here, as you can see, illuminated. Again, another fast charger, which is paired with this wireless charger. Again, a fast charger right over there. Like literally 2017 car with 3 fast chargers. This is just amazing. Again, I keep it calling 2017. It's a 2019 model, but it hasn't been refreshed until yet, like 2020. But there you go, Google Maps. Again, the satellite view completely running amazing right over here. But as we are using my Wi-Fi, which is inside the home, it's just not working that great. But going through normal stuff like with the Android Auto, the touchscreen experience is quite great on this thing, because the touchscreen itself is good, but Android Auto just doesn't feel that great. Even with the Type-C connection, it's quite laggy. But the voice commands and everything are far more better than Siri right over here. Like for example, play Sidhu Moosewala on Ghana. Now, due to
Alright, playing Sidhu Moosewala on Ghana.
Well, I was going to say due to the Wi-Fi condition right over here, it will be Stop. We don't want copyrights. Well, I was going to say due to Wi-Fi, but it was just Android Auto. It does actually work quite great. Again, the mic is right over here, so you don't have to yell at your phone or yell at the infotainment system. And even for the person sitting at the back, it does actually work quite great. Then again, just going through normal features, you have navigation. Like the Google Maps is the greatest thing that this thing can offer, cause even the Apple CarPlay doesn't have it. But as you can see, it does actually work quite great. If I just completely disconnect my phone, if I just go through all menus, I mean, it's normal stuff. You have settings, then again you can go to the navigation, you can also go to the GPS to know your actual GPS speed. Yep. I have to actually turn on the accessories of the car, and one touch, as you can see, it's quite fast. Then again, it opens up 60%. Again, if you just want the whole thing, just tap the button once, and now the air can actually get into your passenger's head, so it's quite annoying. Again, one touch close, as you can see. Again, you have the ventilation option right over here, so you have to just hold the sunroof button just like that, and the air will actually come out this slit right over here, as you can see. Well, you can't actually feel it, but there are some air slits right over there for ventilation, but you can just close it again. So yeah, quite an expensive gimmick, but it hasn't actually failed on me or leaked any single time, so you can actually trust on Hyundai for buying a sunroof, I guess. I can't actually say that same thing for the Creta, because it has a completely panoramic roof and not a hard material. It just stops recording after a few minutes, but again over here, I'm 5'7" and I barely have any space. Like, of course you can't see it right now. If I just turn on the light, as you can see, I barely have any space right over here, because I almost take up everything at the front. But at the back, yeah, it's quite a treat to sit in, as the seats are like this. So for example, at the front you are sitting quite normal pace, but at the back the seats are like this. As you can see, it's quite slant and it just tucks in over here, so you don't actually move around. So if you are just doing corners or anything, your passengers will be cocooned in this small shell. They don't actually move around, which is quite great if you have people which are easily motion sick, like all of my family. But as I'm the tallest one in my family, I am around like I'm around 5'7". I can actually see myself over there. Hello, just right there. Again, as you can see, if it focuses on the mirror, please, we have a auto dimming mirror right over there, which no car in this segment offers, like for the sedan. But I'm actually 5'7" and tallest one in the family. So if you have people which are quite smaller, like the normal Indian range, like 5'1", 5'2", this car is the most comfortable car that you can have. But if you have the modern age people like the 6'2" or some of my friends, this does actually get in your head. Now for the 2019 model, they actually scoped this out. So even on the 2018 model, I wasn't actually just sitting quite comfortably, like yeah, as you can see right over here, it touches. But in 2018 model, it was like this small. So they scooped out this part, which is quite great if you have a sunroof. But yeah, rear seat comfort is quite great. You have adjustable headrest, which I don't think 2020 model does actually offer. You have a sunshade right over here built in, which again in a 2020 car Creta has for all the windows, so that's quite great. So yeah, those were the smaller things about the car that I actually love. And just talking about more things, again the plastic quality is great. It's quite downgraded from like the 2019 models. Like the 2020 Creta does actually feel quite more cheaper quality than this thing. Even like I can stack up i20 then Verna then Creta in terms of 2019 interior feel quality, but this car is much more higher quality than the 2020 Creta, to be honest. And then again, talking about the key, this is one of the most beautiful keys that I have actually ever seen. It has a LED right there up top, and again you can just remove the key for oh shit, just like that. If the key just completely dies out on the battery, or if any kind of issues with connectivity happens with the car, which none of those have, it's quite a great option. Like this is one of the most beautiful keys that I've ever seen. Like I have actually seen the newer Harrier key, like the newer Creta keys, and nothing comes near it. Even on the 2020 model there is a extra button over here for horn. So I guess the 2020 model doesn't actually honk each and every single time that you are actually locking or unlocking the car, which this car does actually do. So for example, it's quite hard for me to just get out around like night time, because it honks each and every single time to just unlock or lock. Yeah, it's quite weird. And that's one of the only things that I just don't like about this car. Again, that can be fixed if I just completely remove the alarm system. Like the horn and the alarm system that honks, it's completely different. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one. Peace.